Okay, welcome everyone to a long time ago, our top 10 most wanted TVC series. This series sees us look at Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, our most wanted for the Star Wars saga. Now, obviously, Martyn, you are a huge TVC collector, so we're going to be picking your top 10 for each film because there's not much point in me choosing, as I'll just choose Astromechs, we all know that. So the only rules we've made for this series when picking the top 10 are we cannot pick one that's already been produced in TVC, even if the figure needs an update. The other rule is when we get to the original trilogy, we cannot pick any of the original 96 because we know they're going to be made at some point. So today we're going to kick things off with the Phantom Menace. Martyn, before we get started, is there anything you need to add?
I just wanted to add that obviously I'm a carded collector. Everybody knows that who watches the channel. So my picks are going to be obviously based on characters and figures that I really want,
Yeah.
but also they're going to be based on how good the card's going to look with the image on the card. So just to bear that in mind for my picks. That's what I wanted to add.
Okay, good. Right, so shall we get things started?
Let's do it.
Let's kick off with number 10 then. What is your number 10 pick?
Okay, number 10 is Rumsleg. Obviously, you see Rumsleg in and around Mos Esper in the Phantom Menace, and I think you see him at the pod race as well.
That's right, the bounty hunter, allegedly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Allegedly, I mean, he's a big background character, but he looks awesome, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look good. A really nice figure. So I think it's something that quite a lot of people would be up for. Actually, would be looking to get as the vintage collection in the vintage collection. But he is very much a background figure, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I think he looks really good, and will again look really good on a card back. So yeah, Rumsleg number 10.
Nice number 10. Right, number 9. What have you got?
Okay, number 9. My number 9 is Yariel Poof, who is obviously a member of the Jedi Council.
Yep.
Now, this will be quite a challenge to get this one on a card back because he's got quite a long neck. I mean, he might have to be a deluxe figure. I don't know, but I really do like the character design. I would like eventually to have all of the Jedi Council available on the vintage collection. That's something I've said many times before.
Yeah.
So for number 9, I've chosen Yariel Poof.
Yeah, not bad. I'd probably put Rumsleg a bit higher than that, but then Yarael Poof. But this is your list. So number 8 then.
Okay, number 8, I've gone for C-3PO, obviously without his casing on, the half-built C-3PO that we see that Anakin's built. Again, while he's not he's in the film all that much, and I don't know how to say it really, but he's not the greatest character. It would be great to see that image of him where he sat on the bench in Anakin's room on a card back. And I know we've had the figure in other lines before, but you could also include the casing as well, couldn't you, if you wanted to, as extras, whether it be a deluxe figure or just something in behind the figure in the bubble. So it's definitely something I'd really want to see on a Phantom Menace card.
On a TVC card.
Yeah, well, TVC Phantom Menace card, yeah.
I see.
But I know, yeah, I know you're not the biggest C-3PO fan in the world, so I knew that was going to be a difficult one to get by.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't have made my list, I don't think. But then it's hard to get past 10 astromech droids, if I could even find that many in the film. Show us your number 7 then. What's your number 7 most wanted?
Okay, number 7 is Chancellor Valorum. Obviously, pivotal character in the film. Never been done on the vintage collection, obviously. There's many great images that could be used on the card back. We do have a lot of politicians and senators and things like that we haven't had made in the vintage collection. And as a fan of the politics side of the prequels, I must admit, not having Chancellor Valorum's kind of an oversight for me. So mean, I'm sure he wouldn't come with a huge amount of accessories, to be honest with you,
No,
but
no.
but if you want a complete run of Phantom Menace characters on a vintage card, then yeah, Chancellor Valorum was definitely up there for me. So yeah,
Mm.
number 7, Chancellor Valorum.
Do you know if he's been made before on other cards? He
Oh
has.
yeah, yeah. I mean, most of these in this list I've done have appeared on the actual original Phantom Menace line that came out in
Right.
'99.
Okay.
But obviously, we need updated figures, and also we need them on a vintage card, because that's the reason we love the vintage collection, because of the way. Well, sorry, that's the reason I love the vintage collection,
Yes.
because it's the way the card backs look. They remind me of my childhood. But
Yeah. Well.
yeah,
Yeah. So many others will agree with you. It has to be said.
mm,
That's why the vintage collection is quite a popular line in
yeah,
the grand scheme of things. Okay. So
definitely,
that was
definitely.
number 7. What have we got for number 6?
Okay, number 6, I've gone for another member of the Jedi Council, and I've gone for Ki-Adi-Mundi. Now, obviously, Ki-Adi-Mundi, he doesn't have a huge amount to do in all 3 of the prequels, but
Mm,
he actually gets some lines in this film, so
true.
that's
Yeah.
always a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's quite an important member of the Jedi Council, and again, as I said, the same with Yariel Poof. I'd love the vintage collection to have the full Jedi Council available
Mm,
at some point. So
yeah.
Ki-Adi-Mundi for me is obviously a pivotal member of the council. So yeah, I'd love to. I'll tell you what I'd love to see is all of the Jedi Council on vintage cards with
Mm,
images of them in their seats in the Jedi Council, just like all
yes.
of the
Yeah.
Rebels. Yeah, the Rebels cards that just came out with the HasLab Ghost,
Yeah.
kind of in the same style, where you have the same background slash image
Yeah.
on the card. That would look really cool. I think
That's a
they'd look
great shout.
amazing on a shelf.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a really nice, really good shout. It does surprise me that Kiadi-Mundi's not been made before, not even on like a Clone Wars TVC card. He's
No,
such
no,
a big character in that series. So yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Okay, that is your first 5. Hopefully, the people at home may agree. I don't know. Let us know in the comments what your top choice would be. Number 5, then. Let's go into the top 5, Martyn.
Okay, number 5. Now we've had a lot of the pod racers in the vintage collection since when it was released in TVC 1.0, but a massive, massive miss is obviously the main pod racer,
Mm.
Sebulba. So yeah, number 5, I've gone for Sebulba. I think it's a massive oversight not to have had him when
Why do
we've
you
had.
think that is? Why do you think that is? Is it
Well, he's a
like the shape of the character?
Yeah, I mean, the shape of a dug is quite. I think it's a dug, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, the shape's quite difficult to, I suppose, fit in a vintage collection bubble. But then we've seen so many oversized bubbles on vintage
true.
collection 2.0 that I seriously can't imagine. That's the reason.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, imagine how cool a Sebulba vintage collection card would be, and you use the image of Sebulba when he's in his
Hmm.
cockpit of the pod racer,
Yeah.
as he's racing. That's such a great image of not only as a picture, but in the movie itself. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'd love to see Sebulba.
Do you know what?
Definitely.
I'm all for that. I like that shout. Yeah.
Mm.
Number 4 then. What have we got for number
Okay,
4?
number 4. Yeah, number 4 is one that I've heard a lot of people say they'd really like in the vintage collection, and I have to say I agree. And it is Anakin Skywalker, but in his sort of slave fatigues, if you like,
Okay.
what he wears when he's on
Yeah.
Tatooine. Now, a lot of people, have asked for that, because obviously we've had Anakin Skywalker as a Padawan that
Hmm.
we see right at the end of the film for a couple of seconds on a
Exactly. Yeah.
vintage card,
Yeah.
but we've never had him as sort of the young boy on Tatooine. So I'd really like to get a card of that. And again, there's so many great images that could be used for that card
Hmm.
back. I mean, it'd be quite a relatively simple figure that you could quite easily pack in with many accessories that you see him use in the movies, whether it be
Yeah.
tools, all
His
sorts of stuff.
goggles.
So
His pod
goggles,
racing
yeah,
goggles. Yeah.
yeah, pod racing helmet. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many things you could use. So yeah, I think it's essential that we get an Anakin Skywalker at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Quite possibly. Not bad. Not bad. It's no Sebulba, but yeah. Um, Number 3 then.
Okay, number 3, I have gone for Newt Gunray. Massive character, head of the
Mm,
Trade Federation. Simply has to be done in the vintage collection, whether it be the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, or Revenge of the Sith. I've chosen him for Phantom Menace because
yeah,
there's some great images that could be used for him. We've had a figure of a Nemoidian, sorry, already in the vintage collection. So why haven't we had Newt Gunray? So number 3, Newt Gunray.
absolutely. That absolutely surprises me that he's not already in there. I thought he was, to be honest. I just
No, no.
fully assumed that he would be. But there's 350. I don't know every one of them. Have you checked?
Yeah, no, I have checked. Yeah, I mean, it's Dolte Dauphine, I think we have in the vintage collection.
Right.
Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, we haven't had the main man. So yeah,
Yeah,
we need him.
definitely. We're up down to number 2 now. We're getting to the business end.
Uh,
What have we got for number 2?
Yeah, see, number 1 and 2 are difficult, but I've gone for Queen Amidala
Mm,
in as number 2,
okay.
but in that iconic red dress with the big headdress that she wears at the
Yeah.
beginning of the film, where you see her looking out the window at the Trade Federation, attacking the planet. I mean, for me, when I was, I was in my early 20s when the Phantom Menace came out. That is such an iconic part of the Phantom Menace's Padme in that outfit that I'm shocked that we haven't had that. We've had a
Yeah.
few Padme figures, but we've never had that one. So yeah, number 2, Padme Amidala in her Queen outfit.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So I'm not sure about that myself, but let's get down to the big one then. Number 1, Martin. What is your most wanted TVC for the Phantom Menace?
Okay, it is Watto. And I'm not alone with this one. I hear a lot of people say Watto. Why has Watto not been released on the Phantom Menace card for the TVC?
Mm,
I think for me, Watto is one of my favourite characters in the Phantom Menace. He's quite a surprise of a character, and he's animated extremely well. Even looking
yeah.
back 25 years now, he still holds up animation wise. So and character wise as well. So I've always wanted to, I mean, imagine again, and I know I'm talking about images again, but imagine the image that you could use for him on the card. You'd have to perhaps have some kind of stand that you could use to hold him up,
Yeah.
so it looked like he was flying. And you could even put different wings that you could attach. So some, wings to his side when he wasn't actually doing anything, and flapping wings, that you could clip in when he was, flying about. So I don't know. I'm just like throwing ideas out,
Yeah.
but there's definitely something you could do to make the figure a bit more interesting. So yeah, for me, Watto number 1 definitely.
That really surprises me, and it also surprises me how popular that choice might be. If you say a lot of people, you're not alone in that. Um, I think if I was to pick one from your list that I think really needs to be made, it's Mundi. So, but that's
Okay,
just
it's
me.
good.
I don't know.
I have to say the 10 that I've chosen, they're all quite close together. Really,
Yeah,
if I got
difficult.
any of those 10, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure. Um, let's do a little bonus then. What would you pick if you had to choose a vehicle from the film that you would want made?
Ooh. Okay, just off the top of my head, one that's not been made already, obviously. I'm
Mm.
guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, it'd be quite a big vehicle. This one, it's the Republic cruiser that you see at the beginning of the Phantom Menace, that's bringing Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan onto the
Mm.
Trade Federation starship. It's kind
Yeah.
of red and looks slightly like a blockade runner, but a very early version of it. That would be my pick. It's a great looking ship, and you could definitely do some stuff internally with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Republic cruiser.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not
Mm.
sure. I think I'd probably go for a couple of. I just think that there should be some pod racers
Oh
available. I
yeah,
don't
good.
know if there is, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
that would be
that's a,
me.
that's a
That would
great
be my
great
choice.
shout. Great shout.
Yeah.
Yeah, great shout.
Well, good. Good. Well, that is it then. Let us know if Martyn's missed any that you would absolutely have in your top 10 most wanted, just chuck that down in the comments. And whilst you're there, put a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's when we talk about Martyn's most wanted top 10 for Attack of the Clones. We'll see you later.